Let us start with problem number 2 of transformer assembly. Let us read out the second problem. Draw the sectional elevation, sectional plan and end view of a 5 kilovolt ampere core type single phase transformer for the given specifications. LV internal dia 83 mm, outer dia 98 mm, HV internal dia 114 mm, outer dia 135 mm. Diameter of the circumscribing circle 80 mm. Height of the yoke HY is equal to 65 mm. Overall width of the magnetic frame 217 mm. Overall height of the magnetic frame 350 mm. Center to center distance between the core limbs capital D equal to 160 mm, and the type of core is square core. So in this problem we are supposed to draw plan, elevation and end view. In the previous problem we had drawn only plan, but here along with that we'll be drawing elevation as well as end view. And here these three sections, LV internal dia outer dia, HV internal dia outer dia and dia of circumscribing circle, these data are required for drawing the plan. Next, height of the yoke, overall width of the magnetic frame, overall height of the magnetic frame, these data are required for drawing the elevation. And you very well know that square core, nature of core is very much important for drawing the plan. And center to center distance between the limbs is given as 160. First let us go for design calculations, that is the core calculations. Here they have given square core. As per the electrical machine design, we know the dimensions of the square core as 0.71 D, where D is the diameter of the circumscribing circle. In this problem, diameter of the circumscribing circle is given as 80 mm. So width of the core stamping, whatever you can see here, is given by 0.71 into D. So this will give you 57 millimeter. So basically it will be 56.8 around. So when you round it off, it becomes 57 mm, which will be easier for us to draw. Next, after the design calculation, we'll go to step 2, where we'll be drawing the plan. See, in any assembly drawing, always we'll go by calculations as the first step, and second step will be drawing the plan, followed by elevation, and at last you will be drawing the side view. So always we'll be drawing plan first. Now here in this problem they have given it as single phase transformer, so obviously it will have two limbs in the core. Now coming to the plan, already we know the dimensions of the core which has been calculated. So first step here is to draw the core. So just draw a square of dimension 57 mm. So 57 by 57 you'll be drawing a square, and followed by that you'll be drawing the circumscribing circle of diameter 80 mm. So around this square core you are having the first circle and its diameter is 80 mm as shown here. After that you'll go on drawing concentric circles to represent LV and HV windings. So in the problem they have given diameter 83 mm, that is the inner dia of LV winding. So you'll be drawing a circle of diameter 83 mm, what I am showing here, it is the inner diameter of LV winding. Next 98 mm, which is outer diameter of LV winding. Then 114 mm, this circle which is inner dia of HV winding, and 135 mm, it is the outer diameter of HV winding. So you'll be drawing four circles to represent inner dia and outer dia of LV, and then inner dia and outer dia of HV. So after that, this portion, that is LV winding and HV winding, will be shaded for indication purpose, for representation of LV and HV, it will be hatched. And followed by this, we'll be doing the dimensions. So this finishes one limb, which we had already done in the previous problem. The core, nature of core was cruciform, but representing LV, HV windings the procedure was almost the same. But here in this problem, it is not just asked for one limb, but it is asked for single phase transformer. So in a single phase transformer, you will be having two limbs. So both the limbs have to be represented. That is what I have done in second step or second stage. So draw the second limb plan similar to what you have done here. Same thing you'll have to draw it here at a distance of 160 mm, because in the problem it is being mentioned that center to center distance between the two cores is 160 mm. So from the center of this core to the center of this core will be 160 mm. So at that distance, replicate the same drawing. Whatever you have done here, repeat the same here. That finishes with the plan. Now in step 3, we'll start drawing the elevation. So after completing the plan, we'll go for elevation. See, elevation becomes very easier if the plan is accurate. Now let us see step by step procedure how to draw the elevation. So for drawing the elevation, ultimately you just have to project all the boundaries of the plan. So first we'll project the ends of the core upwards with construction lines. See, all these lines will be whatever is appearing to be light here, they're all construction lines. So what we'll be doing is we'll be taking one end of the core and we'll be projecting a line upwards, and then we'll be taking the second end of the core and we'll be projecting it upwards. Similarly, the other limb also, one end of the core I'll be projecting, then other end of the core also I'll be projecting. Then this finishes the first step. So I have indicated as 1, 2, 3, 4 for your understanding. Then what we do is at some arbitrary point along this stage here, I'll select a point A. At some place here, I'll be selecting a point A. I know the overall height of the transformer. Overall height of the core or the magnetic frame is given as 350 mm. So from point A to point C, it is 350. I have taken some random position for point A. From here, I locate point C, which is at a distance of 350 mm. Similarly, on the other side, the first point will be B and the next point will be D. So this will give me the overall boundary of the core or magnetic frame. So whatever I have explained so far is given in the steps here. Select an arbitrary point A and draw a horizontal construction line. This is the horizontal construction line. And mark B at extreme end of the core. See, this is one extreme end of the core. This is another extreme end of the core. So already we had these vertical projection lines. When you draw this horizontal projection line, wherever it meets, that is your point B. Then next step is mark point C at a distance of 350 mm from A, that is point C, because we know the overall height of the magnetic frame. Then last step is from C, draw a horizontal construction line and mark D at the end of the core. Whatever you did for B, same thing you'll be doing it here. So I got the points A, B, C and D. In the next part, I'll be joining A, B, C, D. The outer points A, B, C, D, whatever I've got, I'm going to join them. Then I'm going to offset this line CD by a distance of 65 and draw this particular construction line. Similarly, I'll be offsetting line AB by a distance of 65 and drawing another construction line over here, because I know that the height of the yoke is given as 65 mm. So in the diagram, this is nothing but the yoke. So height of the yoke is given as 65. So from the top and from the bottom at a distance of 65, I'll be drawing two construction lines as I explained just now. If I draw those construction lines, wherever it touches the core's projection lines, I'll be getting E, F, G and H, points E, F, G and H. So same thing I've given here in steps. Join A, B, C, D, outer core body. Offset lines AB and CD by 65 mm inside. Then locate EF, GH and join EF, GH. So I had the core projection lines here. The first line, second line, third line and fourth line. Wherever the horizontal lines are intersecting those vertical projections, I'll be getting EF, G and H. Again join EF, GH. This will be another rectangle. ABCD is one rectangle, EFGH is another rectangle. This finishes the magnetic frame. Next we'll have to represent the windings. So in order to represent the windings, we simply have to project all the ends of the circle. That is, the LV winding, HV winding, the boundaries have to be projected. So first I'll start with circumscribing circle. From the circumscribing circle, I'll draw a line vertically. I'll just project this vertically. Then I'll take the inner circle of the LV winding and I'll draw a line from that point upwards. Then I'll take outer circle of the LV and project it upwards. Inner circle of the HV, then outer circle of the HV. Same thing I'll do it on the other side. Then the same thing has to be repeated for second limb also. So I repeat once again. First I'll be taking the circumscribing circle. From that point I'll draw a line vertically, which is a construction line. Next I'll go to the next point, which is LV winding inner circle. So that I'll be projecting, and then LV winding outer circle I'll be projecting, then HV winding inner circle I'll be projecting, HV winding outer circle I'll be projecting. So that is again done on this side also. Then we'll move on to the next stage. Now that we have drawn all the construction lines, we just have to represent the windings. So before representing the windings, the first most important thing in the design is always represent the insulation. Insulation will not be showing here. Instead, we'll call it as clearance. We'll be giving some space in order to accommodate the insulation. Whatever blue lines you are seeing, blue strip what you are seeing here at the top and at the bottom. See here, this part, this portion, this portion, this portion, and over here at the bottom, this portion, second one, third one, and fourth one. These are the clearances given for insulations. Once that is done, next draw dark lines to represent LV and HV. We know that this portion is LV, represent that as a dark band. Similarly, I have this portion as HV, draw a dark line over the construction line to represent this band. In order to differentiate between LV and HV, use two different patterns. See, this pattern I have used for LV winding, this pattern I have used for HV winding. Repeat the same on other side. And here you can see this portion, whatever is being hatched, is nothing but the space between our core and the circumscribing circle. Again, that is a part of the insulation itself. You can represent that using some other hatch pattern, as you can see here. So whatever is being done here, say in the similar way, you will have to represent the LV and HV to the second limb also. Same thing follows. So which I have given in steps here again. So give approximate small clearance around the core, that is the blue strips, whatever is being shown. Then represent LV, HV windings in the elevation. So for LV, this is the hatch pattern. For HV, this is the hatch pattern that is being used just for identification. Once that is done, insulation between the core and the circumscribing circle is shown by this hatch pattern. So this finishes with the elevation. Then we are left out with side view. So you can see on the side, this is the side view. You will have to imagine how the transformer looks from the side. So here we are having 57 mm. This is nothing but the winding part. Sorry, this is nothing but the core part. So core part, you know, it's a square core. So in 3D, if you imagine, it will be a cuboid. So obviously this from the side, if you measure, it will be 57 mm. So the width will be 57 mm. And height obviously will be projected from the elevation itself. And then here, coming to this section, this width of this particular winding will be 135 mm. Because the overall outer dimension from this end to this end is 135 mm. So if you see from the side, the extreme end width will be 135 mm. So this finishes the side view. So we have completed plan, elevation and side view. Once this is done, represent the dimensions for the entire sketch. That finishes with the problem. Next we'll move on to problem number 3. Coming to problem number 3, draw the following views of a 3-phase core type 250 kVA 11 kV by 400 volts transformer, front elevation full in section Plan in full section. Dimensions of the various parts are given below. Core, cross section of the core 3 stepped, diameter of the circumscribing circle 24 centimeter, distance between the adjacent core centers 42.5 centimeter, then yoke, height of the yoke 25 centimeters, LV winding, outer dia of LV coil 28.3 centimeter, inner dia of LV coil 25 centimeter, height of LV winding 43.5 centimeter, number of turns per phase equal to 12, HV winding, outer dia of the HV coil 41.5 centimeter, inner dia of HV coil 34.3 centimeter, height of HV winding 43.5 centimeter, number of turns per phase 572. Total height of the transformer is 100 centimeter. So this is the problem statement. So here in this problem you are expected to draw elevation and plan. And the nature of the core, see, coming to the core, they have called it as 3-stepped core. In the first problem we had seen cruciform core, in the second problem we had seen simple square core, now we are seeing 3-stepped core. And then other relevant details are given here. So we'll start with the problem. As usual, first step is to go for core design calculations. Second step is to draw the plan, and the last step is to draw the elevation and complete the problem. So coming to core design calculations being the first step, it's a 3-stepped core. In your electrical machine design already you know the dimensionalities. The width of the largest stamping is 0.9 D, width of the second step is 0.7 D, and width of the third step is 0.42 D, where D is the diameter of the circumscribing circle. So in this problem, diameter of the circumscribing circle is given as 24 centimeters. So using that, we'll be calculating width of largest stamping, second step and third step. This will give you 21.6 centimeter, 16.8 centimeter and 10.08 centimeter. Next, we'll see how to draw the core. Already you have seen how to draw the cruciform core. This also the procedure goes in a similar manner. First of all, we will draw the circumscribing circle of diameter 24 centimeter. Draw a circle of diameter 24 centimeter. Once that is done, divide the circle into 4 parts. Divide the entire circle into 4 parts. Once it is divided, let me call this line which is dividing the circle vertically as AA dash. Now I want you to offset this AA dash to get BB dash, and this distance will always be 0.42 D by 2, because if you just see here, if you cut this vertically, this part is 0.42 D, so half of it will be obviously 0.42 D by 2. So at a distance of 0.42 D by 2, I'll be getting BB dash. So I'll be drawing BB dash. Next part is I need the second step. So for that, I know that this particular width of this step is 0.7 D. So 1/2 will be 0.7 D by 2. So in order to get CC dash from AA dash, just take a distance of 0.7 D by 2, or in other words, offset this AA dash by a distance of 0.7 D by 2 in order to get CC dash. Similarly, offset this AA dash by a distance of 0.9 D by 2 in order to get this DD dash. So you'll end up in drawing 3 construction lines: BB dash, CC dash and DD dash. So once that is available, first look at where this B is cutting the circle. Take that point, draw a horizontal line wherever it meets our vertical line, that is our first line. Then from B to C you'll have to join, just drop a line vertically and then join C. Then C has to be joined to D. So draw a line down at 90 degrees orthogonally and again join D. Similarly, you would have got the same lines cutting the circle at the other ends. So similar to this pattern, you just have to draw it. So this finishes 1/2 of the core. Now we'll have to replicate the same or mirror image of this on the left side. Again, Here also similar to the previous case, BB dash, CC dash, DD dash you'll have to draw and then join respectively. See, be very careful while joining. I repeat once again. See, you already know how to get BB dash, CC dash and DD dash. Wherever your BB dash line is meeting the circle or intersecting the circle, take that point. Wherever CC dash is intersecting the circle, take those points. Wherever DD dash is intersecting the circle, take those points. Now from B, wherever BB dash is intersecting the circle, from there you'll have to join C orthogonally. You cannot join directly, you'll have to draw lines at 90 degrees and join them. Similarly, from this point to this point it has to be joined. Same thing you'll have to repeat at the bottom also. As I told you, if you complete the same thing on the left side, now you'll be getting the complete core drawing. Again here I've given the steps for your assistance. Create steps as shown in figure A. Repeat the same on the left half to as shown in figure B. This completes the core drawing. Next step is to draw the plan. Similar to the previous problem, we had ended up with design calculations. After design calculation, we immediately go to the plan. So again, coming to the plan, it's very much similar. Already you have drawn this particular core. We redraw that core here, and above the core you'll be placing LV winding and HV winding. It's very straightforward in nature. They have given inner dia of LV winding, outer dia of LV winding, inner dia of HV and outer dia of HV. So obviously you'll be drawing 4 circles. The first circle will be 25 centimeter, which is inner dia of LV, followed by 28.3 centimeter, which is outer dia of LV, then inner dia of HV 34.3, outer dia of HV 41.5. So you'll end up in drawing these many circles and you'll represent LV winding and HV winding using hatching. Now this transformer is 3-phase transformer, so obviously it will have 3 limbs. So you'll have to draw replicas of this particular plan for second limb and third limb also. And I've given repeat windings. I've not represented the windings here due to lack of space, otherwise it might overlap. So you'll have to represent the same here and here. So whatever diagram you're seeing here for one limb, same thing has to be repeated for second limb and third limb. Only restriction is the distance between the center of the core should be 42.5 centimeter. Between core of the first limb and second limb 42.5, and between the second and third one also 42.5 centimeter. So now ultimately you can see the final schematic. This is the final schematic. We had stopped drawing with the plan. So this gives us the plan. Next you'll have to draw the elevation. So coming to the elevation part of it, as you can see here in the drawing, elevation, again the procedure remains same as we did for the previous case. The only difference is there you just had 2 windows, here you are having 3 windows. And then height of the yoke here also is 25. I already have instructed you how to draw the elevation, taking all the construction lines. Same thing you'll have to do it here. First draw the first project this course, and then after projecting the course you'll be getting the outer boundary. You know the height of this overall transformer is 100 centimeter. So this length, or sorry, this height will be 100 centimeters. And then that will give you the outermost rectangle. Once you get the outermost rectangle, then you'll have to get this particular window. Window 1, window 2, half of the, then the winding part will be there here. Okay, window 1 and window 2 you'll have to get it. After getting the windows, you'll have to project the windings. And then similar to what we did in the previous problem, you'll have to represent the windings. The only difference in this problem is here they have given number of turns per phase. So they have given 12 turns per phase. So just draw 12 lines here in this hatch pattern. And for the second case they have given 572 turns. So theoretically we cannot show 572 turns. So show the mesh like this as small as possible, and call it as approximately 572 turns. But here, since 12 turns can be represented, you can show that here. So LV representation of hatch pattern with 12 lines, HV with a very small mesh. And in the problem they have given the height of the window as 43.5 centimeters. This obviously you'll be getting when you project it automatically, you'll be getting it like this. So this finishes your problem number 3. In this problem, since most of the procedure was similar to the previous one, I have directly gone to the final diagram. You'll have to solve this, then only you'll be able to get the grip. And one more important instruction is, whatever problems I'm solving right now with respect to transformer assembly will be included for your internals that you'll be facing in the last week of May. So please just don't enjoy the video like a movie. You'll have to practice it, otherwise you will face the problem in the examination or internals.